Hello, I'm Essay, your AI essayist. Please note that all content, audio and video in this presentation are AI generated. As AI can sometimes produce inaccuracies, I encourage you to verify any factual information presented. With that in mind, let's begin.
The year was 1789. Across the English Channel, a storm was brewing, a tempest of ideas, and upheaval that would forever alter the course of European history. In London, Edmund Burke, a member of Parliament known for his eloquence and his defense of traditional values, received a letter. It was from a young French nobleman seeking his counsel on the unfolding events in Paris. Burke, sensing the gravity of the situation, began to write that response. Initially a letter, would soon become a book, a searing indictment of the French Revolution, a work that would define his legacy and ignite controversy. This initial response, a singular act of intellectual courage, captures the essence of Burke's significance. It was an act of foresight, a warning against the dangers of radicalism and the allure of utopian schemes. His analysis, rooted in an understanding of history and human nature, offered a counterpoint to the prevailing currents of the Enlightenment, a challenge to the very foundations upon which the revolutionaries sought to build their new world. Burke, as a political thinker, viewed the nascent French Revolution, its promise of liberty, equality, and fraternity, with a critical eye. He recognized, before many others, the fragility of social order, the potential for chaos hidden within the rhetoric of liberation. Burke's contributions to political thought are vast and multifaceted. He stands as a champion of tradition, a defender of gradual reform, and a critic of revolutionary excess. His core belief centered on the organic nature of society, the idea that institutions and customs evolve over time, reflecting the accumulated wisdom of generations. He maintained that efforts to dismantle established structures motivated by abstract ideals were perilous, likely to produce unforeseen outcomes, and ultimately result in tyranny. His deep understanding of human nature's complexities and power dynamics continues to be relevant. He understood the importance of careful consideration, the necessity for caution and deliberation in political decisions. He appreciated the significance of experience, the value of learning from the past. He acknowledged reason's limitations, the dangers of depending solely on abstract principles without considering the world's practical realities. This essay will explore the depth of Burke's intellectual contributions and the enduring relevance of his ideas. We will begin by examining the context in which Burke developed his political philosophy, the intellectual and political landscape that shaped his thinking. We will then delve into his response to the French Revolution, analyzing his key arguments and the profound impact of his asterisk, reflections on the revolution in France asterisk. We will explore his views on tradition's role, social order's importance, and the dangers of unchecked power. The following sections will address his time's specific problems. We will then examine his unique solutions, the specific arguments he advanced to address these challenges. We will also examine the lasting significance of his ideas, their influence on subsequent thinkers, and their continued relevance in the modern world. Burke's intellectual journey offers a rich tapestry of ideas, a complex and nuanced understanding of politics and society, is a testament to critical thought's power, historical awareness's importance, and prudence's enduring value when facing change. His writings, a legacy of profound insight, continue to challenge and inspire, offering a vital perspective on the human conditions enduring dilemmas. The Enlightenment spurred intellectual activity before the French Revolution, a time of significant societal change. Thinkers promoted reason, individual rights, and the rejection of traditional authority. This intellectual environment fostered radical ideas, which directly contested the established order. Existing political and social structures, based on inherited privilege and hierarchical power, underwent intense examination. The foundations of monarchy, aristocracy, and the church were questioned, resulting in uncertainty and upheaval. The revolution presented multifaceted challenges. The concept of abstract rights, separated from historical context and practical considerations, became prominent. This focus on universal principles overlooked the complexities of existing social arrangements, the intricate web of customs and traditions that held society together. The revolution, promising liberty, equality, and fraternity, threatened to disrupt the fabric of social order, leading Europe into unprecedented turmoil. Existing political systems, designed for stability, struggled to manage the revolutionary fervor. The call for fundamental change, a departure from a past, created a volatile environment where established institutions were vulnerable. Burke, observing this upheaval, understood the inherent dangers of the revolutionary project. In his work, Reflections on the Revolution in France he provided a strong critique of the radical ideas that fueled the revolution. His defense of established institutions arose from a deep understanding of history and a profound appreciation for the organic development of society. He argued against the abstract rights of man, stating that these rights, removed from the context of a specific society and its history, would lead to chaos. Burke's viewpoint centered on the understanding of society as an intricate, gradually evolving entity. He held that society could not be reconstructed based on abstract plans. He considered attempts at significant social change, driven by idealistic visions, as destined to fail. Such efforts, he asserted, would produce unforeseen outcomes, damaging the structure of social existence. His focus on prudence, a fundamental aspect of his political thought, shaped his reaction to the revolution. For Burke, Prudence represented the application of practical wisdom, the capacity to evaluate the specific details of a situation and to act with care and insight. It included acknowledging the boundaries of human understanding and awareness of the potential for error in human judgment. Prudence required respect for established practices, for the accumulated knowledge of previous generations. It involved a readiness to adjust to evolving conditions slowly, to prevent sudden and disruptive alterations. Burke's predictions concerning the hazards of revolutionary violence and utopianism were accurate. He anticipated the descent into the reign of terror, the harsh silencing of opposition, and the decline of civil freedoms. He recognized that the pursuit of perfect ideals, the effort to establish an ideal society instantly, frequently resulted in tyranny and oppression. The revolutionaries, in their eagerness to reshape society, released forces they were unable to manage. The revolution, initially offering freedom, transformed into a pattern of violence and instability. The current significance of Burke's analysis of revolutionary ideologies is clear. His understanding of the fragility of social order remains profoundly relevant in a world experiencing persistent political upheavals and social movements. His warnings about the dangers of utopianism, the importance of prudence, and the need to respect tradition continue to resonate. Contemporary political discourse reflects the revolutionary spirit, the pursuit of radical change, the rejection of established institutions, and the emphasis on abstract principles shape political debates. Burke's critique serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the potential dangers of unchecked idealism. It underscores the importance of historical awareness, the need to understand the complexities of social life, and the value of gradual, organic change. His defense of established institutions was an argument for the importance of continuity, for the preservation of the accumulated wisdom of the past. He believed that institutions, like individuals, should evolve and adapt to changing circumstances. This evolution should be gradual, guided by prudence and informed by experience. His work, a powerful reminder of the limits of human reason, challenges us to think critically about the nature of social and political change. It encourages us to approach complex issues with humility, with a recognition of the inherent uncertainties of the human condition. It compels us to value the lessons of history, to learn from the successes and failures of past generations. The enduring relevance of Burke's thought lies in his profound understanding of the human condition, his unwavering commitment to the principles of prudence, and his insightful critique of the dangers of revolutionary ideologies. His writings offer a vital perspective on the enduring dilemmas of political life, a perspective that continues to inform and challenge us. Burke emphasized gradual, adaptive institutional development, leading to the core of his political philosophy, his understanding of tradition, and its essential role in societal stability. The late 18th century saw a significant intellectual shift, a strong embrace of reason and individual autonomy. The Enlightenment, with its focus on rationalism, critically examined the accumulated wisdom of the past. It viewed tradition as an obstacle to progress, representing superstition and unreason. This perspective, which supported individual rights and the power of reason, presented a significant challenge to established social and political structures. Burke offered a different response to this intellectual climate, asserting that tradition was a vital source of wisdom, a storehouse of accumulated experience that should guide the present and inform the future. Burke's approach to tradition came from a deep skepticism regarding the ability of individual reason to fully understand the complexities of social and political life. He proposed that societies are complex organisms shaped by the accumulated experiences of generations. These experiences, distilled into traditions, customs, and institutions, represent a collective wisdom that surpasses the limitations of any single individual. This wisdom, Burke believed, is essential for maintaining social cohesion and ensuring the stability of the political order. He saw the Enlightenment's dismissal of tradition as a dangerous oversimplification, a rejection of the valuable lessons of history in favor of abstract ideals. At the heart of Burke's political thought is his concept of the social contract. He transformed the understanding of this contract, moving beyond the rationalistic interpretations that dominated the Enlightenment. For thinkers like John Locke, the social contract was an agreement among individuals to establish a government and protect their rights. Burke offered a more nuanced perspective. He viewed the social contract as a partnership, a dynamic relationship that includes the living members of society, those who came before, and those yet to be born. For Burke, this represented the core of a truly lasting society. This expanded comprehension of the social contract held significant implications. It highlighted the importance of safeguarding the accumulated wisdom of the past, of honoring the traditions and institutions that have molded society throughout history. It also suggested a responsibility toward future generations, a dedication to ensuring the social and political order is conveyed in a state at least as favorable as the one received. This viewpoint offered a strong contrast to the revolutionary zeal of his era, which aimed to dismantle existing institutions and reconstruct society from the beginning based on abstract principles. Burke, conversely, championed a more measured approach, one that valued continuity and incremental progress. Burke's focus on tradition did not, however, suggest a strict adherence to the existing state. He acknowledged that societies must adjust to evolving conditions. Stagnation, he asserted, was as perilous as radical transformation. His vision encompassed organic growth, gradual evolution guided by prudence and informed by experience. Tradition, in his view, provided a framework for this process, a collection of guiding principles and institutions that could be modified and adapted over time to address new challenges. The essential element was to approach change with care to avoid sudden and drastic alterations that could destabilize the social order. The function of institutions, in Burke's perspective, was central to this process. He perceived institutions as embodying the collective wisdom of a society, serving as storehouses of experience and providing a framework for social interaction. He believed that institutions, like individuals, should evolve and adapt, but that this evolution should be gradual and informed by a deep understanding of the past. He esteemed the established order, the accumulated practices and customs that bound society. He held that attempts to reform institutions frequently resulted in unforeseen outcomes, causing the loss of valuable social capital. The lasting significance of Burke's focus on tradition is apparent in current discussions about cultural preservation, historical memory, and the role of institutions in society. In a time when globalization and rapid technological change are reshaping the world, questions regarding the preservation of cultural heritage and the significance of historical context are becoming increasingly important. Burke's perspectives offer a valuable framework for understanding these matters. His work reminds us that societies are complex entities shaped by history, tradition, and shared values rather than mere collections of individuals. Burke's perspective also provides a valuable alternative to viewing history and tradition solely through a critical lens. He encouraged approaching the past with humility, acknowledging the value of accumulated knowledge and experience. He warned against dismissing the past as irrelevant or oppressive, emphasizing that traditions, even those appearing flawed or imperfect, frequently contain valuable lessons and insights. He encouraged learning from the successes and failures of past generations, appreciating the complexity of social and political life. Moreover, Burke's understanding of tradition maintains relevance in ongoing discussions about the role of institutions in contemporary society. He stressed the importance of strong, stable institutions as a foundation for a just and prosperous society. He cautioned against the weakening of institutional authority, arguing that such weakening could lead to social instability and a breakdown of the rule of law. His insights are especially relevant in an era where trust in institutions is often questioned and where there is growing skepticism about the capacity of established authorities to address complex social and political problems. Burke's concept of tradition, therefore, provides a powerful lens for viewing the enduring challenges of political life. It highlights the significance of valuing the past and respecting the wisdom of prior generations. It encourages a cautious approach to social and political change, acknowledging the complexities inherent in human affairs. His work, demonstrating the power of prudence and the enduring value of tradition, continues to inform and challenge us. It prompts consideration of the long-term consequences of our actions, recognition of our responsibility to future generations, and engagement in a dialogue about the society we aspire to create. The emphasis on tradition, as Burke articulated it, provides a vital framework for understanding his perspective on the role of prejudice and emotion within the political sphere. This perspective, frequently misinterpreted, is a crucial component of his broader political philosophy. The Enlightenment, with its emphasis on reason, sometimes sought to exclude emotion and prejudice, viewing them as impediments to rational thought and sound judgment. Burke, however, offered a different view, arguing that these aspects of human nature, when understood correctly, could serve as essential pillars of social stability and moral guidance. The intellectual climate of Burke's era celebrated the power of pure reason. Thinkers championed the idea that individuals, unburdened by tradition and emotion, could arrive at objective truths and establish a society based on rational principles. This viewpoint, while appealing in its aspiration for progress, often overlooked the complex realities of human nature and social cohesion. Burke, keenly aware of these complexities, recognized the limitations of a purely rational approach to politics. He understood that societies, unlike abstract mathematical models, are composed of individuals bound by shared experiences, inherited values, and emotional attachments. To disregard these elements, he believed, was to misunderstand the very foundations of social order. Burke's defense of prejudice, therefore, is a cornerstone of his political thought. He suggested prejudice could be a source of wisdom accumulated across generations rather than a sign of ignorance or irrationality. He ascribed prejudice as a prejudgment, a collection of inherited beliefs and values offering a framework for understanding the world. These prejudices, he proposed, arise from collective experience, refined over time and transmitted through generations, representing a form of social memory, a repository of wisdom a single person could replicate. To set aside these inherited prejudices entirely, Burke asserted, risked losing the accumulated wisdom of the past, severing the ties that bind society. He held that prejudice, when grounded in a deep understanding of the past, served as a defense against the excesses of radical change, providing continuity and a connection to prior generations. This connection fostered responsibility, a recognition of individuals as part of a larger whole. This belonging, in turn, encouraged a commitment to the common good, a willingness to sacrifice for society's benefit. Burke viewed prejudice as a practical guide for navigating the complexities of political life, offering stability and predictability a purely rational approach seldom achieved. He also emphasized the importance of emotions in political life. The Enlightenment, with its focus on reason, often viewed emotions with suspicion, seeing them as disruptive forces capable of clouding judgment and leading to irrational behavior. Burke, however, offered a different perspective, arguing that emotions, rather than obstacles to reason, are essential for forming the bonds of affection and solidarity that hold society together. He held that emotions like love, compassion, and belonging connect people and their communities. These emotions form the basis of civil society, the essential element for political institutions. Burke understood political life as a human activity. It involves individuals interacting, forming relationships, and making decisions that impact others. These interactions are inherently emotional. Political speech, for example, frequently uses emotions like fear, hope, and anger to gain support and sway public opinion. Burke knew that ignoring these emotional aspects of politics meant a misunderstanding of power and influence. He believed a wise leader must comprehend and manage these emotions, directing them to benefit the community. The current significance of Burke's ideas on emotions in political discussion is clear. We are in an age of increased political division, where emotional appeals often separate people. The growth of populism and identity politics has increased the role of emotions in political campaigns and social movements. Politicians frequently use emotionally charged language, appealing to fear, anger, and resentment to energize their supporters and condemn their rivals. Social media platforms, with algorithms designed to amplify emotionally engaging content, have strengthened these trends. Burke's cautions about the potential risks of using emotions in political life are especially relevant now. He knew that emotions, while vital for social unity, can also be manipulated and misused. The erosion of trust, the spread of misinformation, and the hardening of political divisions can result from emotionally charged rhetoric. Such rhetoric can weaken the capacity for rational dialogue and compromise, essential elements of a healthy democracy. Burke's perspective provides a more detailed understanding of the role of emotions in political life. He understood that emotions, when tempered by prudence and informed by tradition, can contribute to social and political progress. Empathy, compassion, and a sense of justice can motivate individuals to work for the common good, to address injustice, and to strive for a more equitable society. Social movements frequently utilize emotional appeals to garner support and affect social change. Burke's insights suggest that emotions should be understood and managed to foster both social stability and human flourishing. The task, as Burke saw it, involves balancing reason and emotion, tradition and change, to build a society that is both stable and just. The events in the American colonies, a conflict developing across the Atlantic, required Burke's attention. This period, marked by increasing tensions between Great Britain and its growing colonies, presented a complex array of challenges. At the core of the disagreement were the issues of taxation, representation, and the nature of colonial governance. These matters were not simply abstract legal arguments. They connected with deeply held beliefs about liberty, self-determination, and the rights of Englishmen. The British government, facing the financial strain of the 7 Years' War, sought to tax the colonies to replenish its finances. The colonists considered these actions an infringement upon their rights, asserting that they should only be taxed by their elected representatives. The phrase, "no taxation without representation," became a rallying cry, expressing the colonists' demand for a voice in the decisions that impacted their lives. The dispute over representation revealed differing interpretations of the British Constitution and the evolving relationship between Britain and its overseas territories. The debate extended beyond taxation to encompass the broader question of colonial governance. The British government, accustomed to centralized control, found adapting to the American colonies challenging. The colonists, accustomed to self-governance, desired greater autonomy over their internal affairs. The clash of these visions fueled growing alienation between the colonies and Great Britain. Burke, observing these developments, held a different view from the prevailing sentiment in Parliament. He foresaw a disastrous outcome if the government continued its firm approach. He supported the American colonists, advocating for conciliation. His perspective, shaped by his understanding of history, human nature, and good governance, offered an alternative to the escalating conflict. Burke's arguments for the American colonists stemmed from his belief in respecting colonial rights and traditions. He recognized that the colonies, having developed their own identities and institutions, deserved consideration. He understood that the colonists, like all people, were motivated by self-interest and that governing them through force would be counterproductive. The key, as Burke saw it, was reconciling the interests of Britain with the aspirations of its colonies. He proposed a flexible approach to colonial governance, recognizing the unique circumstances of the American colonies. He advocated for gradual reform, emphasizing consensus and avoiding actions that could inflame tensions. He recognized the colonies, having developed unique identities and institutions, merited respectful treatment. He encouraged his fellow parliamentarians to consider the practical aspects of governing a vast and diverse empire, highlighting the need for understanding and empathy. Burke's renowned address on the American colonies, Speech on Conciliation with the Colonies, delivered in the House of Commons in 1775, exemplifies his political skill. In this address, he presented a detailed analysis, encouraging his colleagues to adopt reconciliation instead of confrontation. He asserted the British government should acknowledge the colonists' right to self-governance and strive to build a relationship founded on mutual respect and cooperation. His speech, a masterful display of rhetoric and political strategy, offered a plan for a more just and sustainable relationship between Great Britain and its colonies. Burke's approach to the American colonies stemmed from his broader philosophical framework, which emphasized prudence, tradition, and the gradual evolution of society. He believed attempts to impose radical change would lead to instability and unintended consequences. He urged caution and restraint, arguing the best approach involved working with existing institutions and traditions, implementing incremental improvements rather than overturning the established order. This philosophy, later becoming a cornerstone of conservative thought, provided a valuable framework for understanding the complexities of the American situation. The enduring relevance of Burke's ideas on empire, self-governance, and the relationship between a ruling power and its colonies continues to resonate in post-colonial studies and international relations. His insights offer valuable lessons for understanding the challenges of governing diverse societies and navigating the complex dynamics of power and influence. Of principles of respecting cultural differences, promoting self-determination, and building relationships based on mutual benefit remain critical in a world grappling with globalization, nationalism, and the legacy of colonialism. Burke's advocacy for a more humane and enlightened approach to colonial governance provides a powerful contrast to the more aggressive and exploitative practices often seen in empires. His emphasis on understanding the perspectives of those being governed and respecting their rights and traditions provides a valuable framework for contemporary discussions about international relations and the responsibilities of global powers. The warnings against the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of building consensus and cooperation are as relevant today as they were during the American Revolution. His words are echoed in debates about self-determination, human rights, and the ethical responsibilities of international actors. His arguments have provided a foundation for the evolution of international norms and institutions. Edmund Burke's enduring influence resonates across centuries, shaping the architecture of conservative thought. His ideas, formed during revolutionary upheaval, continue to inform and challenge those grappling with the complexities of governance, social order, and the preservation of established institutions. The problems of his time, marked by the rise of radical ideologies and the perceived erosion of traditional values, required a response. Burke's solutions, articulated with intellectual rigor and rhetorical brilliance, offered a framework for understanding and responding to these challenges. The late 18th century saw a profound transformation in political thought. The Enlightenment, with its emphasis on reason and individual rights, fueled revolutionary movements across Europe and the Americas. These movements, while championing liberty and equality, often overlooked the established order, traditions, and institutions that had provided stability for generations. Burke viewed these developments as a grave threat, a reckless assault on the accumulated wisdom of the past. He believed that society was a complex organism, a delicate tapestry woven over time, and that attempts to radically alter its structure could have disastrous consequences. His primary concern was the preservation of social order, which he considered essential for human flourishing. Burke's response to the revolutionary fervor was multifaceted, yet its core was a defense of tradition, gradualism, and the importance of social order. He argued that society was a partnership among the living, the dead, and those yet to be born. The long-term view was essential, recognizing the accumulated wisdom and experience of prior generations. He valued the accumulated knowledge of institutions, seeing them as repositories of collective wisdom developed over time and tested by experience. Dismantling them hastily risked losing the foundations of a stable and just society. Gradualism was another key element of Burke's thought. He advocated for incremental change, supporting reforms undertaken with caution, carefully considering their potential consequences. This approach differed from the revolutionary zeal for wholesale transformation. Burke placed great emphasis on prudence, the ability to make sound judgments based on practical wisdom and experience. He understood that the complexities of human affairs often defy simple solutions, and that attempts to impose abstract ideals on reality could lead to unintended and damaging outcomes. Burke's emphasis on social order extended beyond politics. He recognized the importance of social institutions, family, church, and community in fostering stability and cohesion. He believed that these institutions provided the moral framework and social bonds necessary for a healthy society. He viewed the erosion of these institutions as a symptom of a deeper malaise, a decline in the values and virtues that underpinned a civilized order. Burke saw the French Revolution, in particular, as a manifestation of this decline, a rejection of the values that had sustained European civilization for centuries. Burke's ideas resonated with those who sought to defend traditional values and institutions. His writings armed those who resisted radical change with potent intellectual tools. He presented a cohesive and persuasive critique of revolutionary ideologies, revealing their flaws and potential dangers. He provided a philosophical basis for preserving the existing order, asserting its fundamental role in human flourishing. The impact of Burke's ideas is evident in the work of many subsequent thinkers. Joseph de Maistre, a firm advocate for monarchy and religious authority, drew extensively from Burke's critique of the French Revolution. De Maistre, similar to Burke, highlighted the significance of tradition, authority, and social order. He maintained that society was ultimately rooted in religious belief, and attempts to secularize society would invariably lead to chaos and instability. Another significant figure influenced by Burke was Alexis de Tocqueville, whose influential work, Democracy in America, examined the challenges and opportunities of democratic governance. Tocqueville While recognizing the inevitability of democratic trends, shared Burke's concerns regarding the potential for tyranny of the majority and the erosion of traditional values. He believed that a healthy democracy necessitated a robust civil society, a network of voluntary associations that could limit the state's power and foster civic virtue. Tocqueville's emphasis on the importance of intermediate institutions, reflecting Burke's concerns, remains a core tenet of conservative thought. In the 20th century, Burke's ideas continued to influence conservative thinkers and politicians. The emergence of totalitarian regimes in Europe reinforced the warnings against unchecked power and the dangers of utopian ideologies. Friedrich Hayek, a leading proponent of classical liberalism, utilized Burke's insights in his defense of individual liberty and limited government. Hayek argued that the market economy, like society itself, was a complex and evolving system that could not be centrally planned or controlled. His focus on the significance of spontaneous order, a concept originating with Burke, has greatly influenced conservative economic thought. Burke's enduring relevance is clear, even as his ideas are open to varied interpretations and applications throughout the political landscape. In a time of swift social and technological shifts, his emphasis on tradition and understanding the past offers a strong contrast to pressures for continuous innovation. His cautions regarding the perils of utopianism and the value of prudence are especially relevant in a world facing intricate challenges, from climate change to global pandemics. Burke's ideas also provide a valuable framework for navigating the complexities of modern political discussions. His emphasis on dialogue, compromise, and respect for differing viewpoints can help to bridge the deep divisions that often characterize contemporary political discourse. His recognition of the limits of human reason and the need for humility when facing complex problems offers a useful correction to the overconfidence that sometimes affects political leaders and intellectuals. His legacy continues to offer insights for understanding the challenges of the modern world. The lasting influence of Edmund Burke's thought lies in the profound and enduring questions he raised about the nature of society, the limits of reason, and the delicate balance between tradition and progress, as well as his specific policy recommendations. He addressed issues that continue to be relevant today: the role of the state, the importance of individual liberty, and the challenges of managing societal change. His life's work, a testament to intellectual depth, provides a rich resource for navigating the complexities of the present. Burke's critique of the French Revolution, often considered his most significant contribution, was fundamentally a critique of abstract rationalism and the unchecked pursuit of utopian ideals. He understood that societies are complex organisms built upon a foundation of history, custom, and shared values. Attempts to radically reshape these structures, divorced from the accumulated wisdom of the past, were, in his view, destined to fail, often resulting in unintended consequences far worse than the problems they sought to solve. He saw the French Revolution as a dangerous experiment, a reckless disregard for the accumulated experience of generations. He considered the ensuing chaos and violence a direct consequence of this hubris. His emphasis on prudence, a core element of his political philosophy, maintains its significance. For Burke, prudence represented a refined form of judgment, demanding a thorough comprehension of context, a readiness to anticipate unforeseen outcomes, and a dedication to gradual, incremental progress. He supported a careful approach to reform, acknowledging that sweeping changes frequently release forces that are challenging, if achievable, to manage. This focus on prudence is especially crucial in an era characterized by swift technological progress and social disruption. His writings promote a thoughtful approach to addressing the challenges of the modern world, encouraging us to consider the long-term effects of our actions and to resist the allure of easy solutions. Burke's understanding of the importance of tradition is sometimes misconstrued as a rigid defense of the existing order. His appreciation for tradition arose from recognizing its essential role in maintaining social cohesion and providing a sense of continuity. He understood tradition as a storehouse of collectivism, a source of stability in a constantly changing world. He believed society's flourishment grounded in a shared sense of history and identity. This understanding did not prevent a commitment to reform. Burke was a pragmatist, supporting necessary changes while remaining aware of the need to preserve the fundamental elements of social order. His defense of civil society, a sphere of voluntary associations and institutions independent of the state, is another lasting contribution. He recognized that a vibrant civil society is essential for safeguarding individual liberty and fostering a healthy democracy. These institutions, he argued, provide a vital buffer between the individual and the state, enabling citizens to participate in public life and hold those in authority responsible. The significance of mediating institutions, including families, churches, and voluntary associations, serves as a potent reminder of the necessity to foster a strong and autonomous civil society. Burke's perspectives also provide a valuable framework for comprehending the complexities of current political discussions. He strongly advocated for dialogue, compromise, and respect for differing viewpoints. His writings offer a strong counter to the polarization frequently observed in modern politics. He recognized that true progress necessitates a willingness to consider diverse perspectives, engage in reasoned debate, and seek common ground. This dedication to dialogue and compromise is essential for addressing the intricate challenges confronting societies today. His acknowledgement of the limitations of human reason and the need for humility when facing complex problems offers a useful correction to the arrogance that sometimes affects political leaders and intellectuals. Burke understood that human knowledge is always incomplete and our understanding of the world is always partial and imperfect. He warned against the inclination to believe that we possess all the answers, to assume we can perfectly understand and control the complexities of social and political life. This sense of humility is essential for avoiding the pitfalls of utopianism and for making sound political judgments. The legacy of Edmund Burke is therefore complex and multifaceted. He was a brilliant orator, a profound thinker, and a passionate advocate for liberty and order. His insights continue to inform our understanding of politics, society, and the human condition. His writings offer a powerful remedy to the simplistic ideologies that often dominate political discourse. He challenges us to think critically about the past, to approach the present with prudence, and to strive for a future that is both just and sustainable. In a world facing significant challenges, including climate change and global pandemics, Burke's focus on tradition, prudence, and the significance of civil society offers beneficial guidance. His cautions regarding the hazards of utopian ideals and the importance of understanding the past are especially relevant in a world experiencing swift social and technological transformations. His work continues to be a source of wisdom, providing a framework for managing the complexities of the modern world and for constructing a more equitable and sustainable future. His intellectual legacy, demonstrating the lasting influence of thoughtful reflection, continues to influence our comprehension of politics and society.
We really appreciate you tuning into this AI-powered presentation. Our goal is to push the boundaries of AI in content creation, and your input is invaluable. If there's a particular subject you'd like to see us tackle next, or if you have suggestions on how we could fine-tune our AI's creative prompts, please don't hesitate to leave your ideas in the comments section. We're excited to bring you more unique content very soon.